Mrs. Adeyemi stood and read calmly. Access logs. Timestamps. Device IDs. Witness notes from 2 cleaners. A statement from the market man who had watched Judith take the clinic picture through the window. The pieces fit. Not perfect, but tight. Daniel looked up. We will conclude in a moment. First, I want to introduce someone who has something to say. He stepped away from the microphone. The driver wheeled Mama Beatrice forward. Heads tilted. Mouths tightened. Some people laughed nervously. This is turning to drama. Mama Beatrice rested her hands on her lap and looked out at them. Her voice, when it came, was soft but carried weight. Good afternoon, children. Something in the way she said it made the hall go still. I sit by a mango tree, she said, because I wanted to know if this city still has a heart. Many people passed me. Some looked away. Some laughed. One girl knelt and fed me spoon by spoon and wiped my mouth with her last tissue. She did it again the next day. And again the next. A sound moved through the hall. A small, guilty wind. She turned slightly in the chair and pointed to Amara. That girl. Amara froze. Her hands shook. Her throat tightened. She felt like the floor had moved. Mama Beatrice faced the hall again. I hid who I was because my son has forgotten how to trust. I wanted to see a person who is kind when no one is clapping. I saw it. She paused. Daniel stared at her. The last wall in his chest bending. He knew now. He couldn't pretend anymore. His eyes shone, and he looked away quickly. Mama Beatrice lifted her chin. Her voice deepened. My name is Beatrice Okonkwo. A gasp. Heads turned to Daniel, then back to her. Everyone knew that name. The founder's widow. The mother of the current owner. The woman who had disappeared from public view years ago. I am the mother of Daniel Okonkwo, she said. I have watched from the street and from the clinic. I have watched some of you mock. I have watched some of you hide lies and throw dirt at a girl who had nothing but still gave. Her eyes found Judith. You. The word was not loud, but it carried weight. And you, she said, looking at Blessing. And you, she added, turning to Emeka. You threw stones with laughter. You put money in a locker and a lie in a group. You tried to break a bag that was already carrying too much. Blessing broke first. Tears spilled. I am sorry, she whispered, shaking. I followed. I was weak. Judith lifted her chin, angry and afraid. This is a setup. Old woman or not, you can't. Mama Beatrice did not raise her voice. Truth does not need to shout. She looked at Mr. Taiwo. And you? When a leader laughs at a lie, he helps it grow. Mr. Taiwo dropped his eyes. Mama Beatrice turned to the hall again. I did not come to shame. I came to end a lie and to say this. Kindness is not foolishness. It is strength. She looked at Daniel. Their eyes met and held. A soft line appeared in her face. The line of relief. Son, she said, voice unsteady now. Can you see? Daniel swallowed. A boy and a man in the same body. I can see, he said, voice low. I can finally see. The hall was silent. Some people had tears in their eyes. Some stared at the floor. Mama Beatrice folded her hands again. I am finished. Daniel stepped forward. The room felt different now, like a window had been opened. HR will issue letters today, he said, voice calm but iron. Effective immediately, Judith, Blessing, and Emeka are placed on indefinite suspension without pay, pending final disciplinary action. Mr. Taiwo is also placed on indefinite suspension for failing to protect staff and for sharing a mocking leak. A ripple ran through the hall. Judith's mouth opened and closed. Indefinite, she cried. Because of that girl. Because of truth, Daniel answered. Security will escort you to clear your desks. There will be no more public ridicule here. Judith broke into angry tears. She bewitched all of you, she shouted, pointing at Amara. Enough, Mrs. Adeyemi said softly, standing between them. Leave with dignity. Blessing walked forward on unsteady legs. She stopped by Amara and whispered, I am sorry. Real remorse in her eyes. Amara nodded through tears. I forgive you. Emeka stared at the floor, shame heavy on his shoulders. Mr. Taiwo tried to speak and failed. He covered his face with his hand. Daniel turned to the hall. For everyone who laughed while this happened, learn from today. We will be better, or we will not be here. He set the microphone down. The meeting ended with no clapping. Only an honest quiet. People began to move. Some went straight to Amara, faces soft with shame. We are sorry. We believed lies. She nodded to each person, eyes wet, chest shaking with a mix of pain and relief. Daniel walked toward her but stopped halfway, unsure. Mama Beatrice watched them both, a small smile hiding at the corner of her mouth. Her plan had not been to embarrass anyone. It had been to open eyes. The eyes were open now. The driver wheeled her back to the rear of the hall. She sat quietly, hands folded, letting them find each other without her voice pushing. Amara turned and saw Daniel. They stood facing each other, two people on a street that had finally been cleared of dust. I am sorry, he said first. His voice cracked. I was hard. I was blind. I thought everyone was the same. I let your name carry dirt. I was wrong. Amara's tears fell again. I was afraid. Not only of losing my job. Of losing my heart. People can be cruel. I know, he said. I became cruel to protect myself. Around them, the hall emptied. In the back, Mama Beatrice sat quietly, joy pressing one behind her eyes. They met later in a small office with a window that faced the mango tree. Mama Beatrice gave them privacy. I will be close, she said, smiling. Talk. Daniel poured water for Amara and pushed the cup toward her with both hands, like handing her something precious. Please drink. She sipped and wiped her face with the back of her hand. He noticed and winced. I should have protected you that day. I saw you fall, and I felt ashamed. You protected me later. Today. I should have done it earlier. When I was younger, someone I loved lied and took from me. I made a rule. Don't trust. Don't feel. Don't look back. I carried that rule into this office and used it like a cane. Amara nodded slowly. I made rules too. Work hard. Don't cry in public. Help where you can. And if people laugh, walk away. They both smiled. The same tired smile. My mother here to test the word, Daniel said. She also tested me. I failed at first. You passed from the first day. I was not trying to pass. I was just doing what my mother taught me. She used to say, if you have 2 spoons of rice, share one. Your stomach will not collapse. Daniel laughed softly for the first time in a long time. The laugh broke something hard inside him. He grew serious again. I will clear your record publicly. I will add a note of commendation. And if you allow me, I want to know you. Not as boss and staff. As people. Amara held his eyes. I am afraid. But I am also grateful. I will be patient. We will go slowly. The door opened. Mama Beatrice rode back in, smiling. Have you finished quarreling? She teased gently. They laughed, the tension lifting. Ma, Amara said, shy and full of wonder. I did not know. I would never have. Mama Beatrice reached for her hand. You did not feed me because of who I am. You fed me because of who you are. That is why I am at peace. They talked until the light outside turned gold. About Chidi's schooling. About rent. About wounds that still ached. About ways to make the company kinder without making it weak. Daniel gave Amara a written letter to take to the landlord, confirming her employment and adding a small housing allowance. It starts today. No more knocking with iron rings. Amara pressed the paper to her chest and cried again. Quiet tears of relief. Mama Beatrice dabbed her eyes with a handkerchief and laughed softly. You will finish all our tissues. Let me buy more, Daniel replied. And they all laughed. Time moved forward like a drumbeat. Rumors died. Work changed. A new notice appeared on the board. Zero tolerance for harassment and lies. Trainings began. The WhatsApp groups went quiet, then Kinder. Judith, Blessing, Emeka, and Mr. Taiwo stayed away on indefinite suspension. HR sent them letters. Some appealed. The evidence held. The company did not joke again. Amara moved to a small, clean room with Chidi. The landlord brought back the spare key he had been holding like a weapon. He even sent a cheap bag of rice in apology. No hard feelings, he muttered, not meeting her eye. Amara smiled politely. Thank you. Mama Beatrice returned home and rested. Some days she still sat by the mango tree, not as a test, but because she liked the wind there. People greeted her with respect now, not pity. She would smile and tap her knee. Kindness is a seed. Plant it. Daniel and Amara started seeing each other openly, but slowly. They walked past the old mango tree and talked about fear and faith. He said sorry many ways. She said, I forgive you, many times. He met Chidi properly. Chidi liked him but said, don't hurt my sister. Daniel nodded like a soldier receiving orders. One evening in front of the mango tree, with Mama Beatrice watching from a bench nearby, Daniel knelt. Simple. Not loud. Amara, will you marry me? Amara covered her mouth and cried. She looked at Mama Beatrice, who nodded with happy tears. Yes, she whispered. Then louder. Yes. The wedding was not the biggest in the city, but it was honest and beautiful. The church was full. Drums spoke. Voices rose in praise. Women wore bright wrappers. Men shook hands. The old market man sat in the second row, smiling to himself. The kind nurse came in a neat dress. Even the bus conductor who once mocked her was there, quiet now. Amara walked in with Chidi at her side. He held her hand tightly and tried to look like a man, not a boy. But he cried anyway. She cried too. Daniel cried. Mama Beatrice cried most of all, a handkerchief trembling in her fingers, her face bright with joy. She sat quietly doing the vows, eyes shining. Her plan had worked. Not to trap, but to reveal. Not to embarrass, but to heal. Outside by the gate, a few faces peered and frowned. Judith. Mr. Taiwo. One of the women who used to laugh. Their eyes were hard, but their shoulders were tired. The happiness inside did not ask them to join, and it did not fear their gaze. It simply existed, strong and clean. When Amara and Daniel exchanged rings, the hall seemed to hold its breath. I promise, he said, voice steady, to guard your name and your heart. I promise, she answered, to hold you to truth and kindness. They kissed. People shouted. Drums leaped. Mama Beatrice laughed like a girl, hands clapping, head thrown back. Later, at the small reception, Daniel stood and lifted the microphone. Before today, he said, I thought love was weakness. I was wrong. It is our strength. This woman taught me that. My mother taught me that. This company will live by that. Amara took the microphone, shy. Some people mocked me when I begged for leftovers, she said. They called me names. I wanted to hide. But kindness is not foolish. It is a light. If you carry it, some will laugh. Carry it anyway. Chidi raised his cup of malt. To my sister, who fed a stranger and found a mother. Backhand index pointing right. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Speech balloon, share your thoughts below. What lesson did you take from Amara's kindness? Bell turn on notifications so you never miss the next inspiring episode. Red Heart, share this video with someone who needs a reminder that kindness always wins.